At the Capitol, lawmakers today heard from local filmmakers and other groups about possibly bringing back tax incentives so that the next blockbuster films could be made right here in Michigan. 13 on Your Side political reporter Josh Albertus has details.
After months of waiting for many, signs of movement in Lansing on a pair of bills many filmmakers say would bring the major films of tomorrow to Michigan. A House committee heard testimony Tuesday about the potential of bringing film tax credits to the state to encourage film producers to come here.
The Multimedia Jobs Act really incentivizes producers from all over the country to spend money in Michigan. This is money that would have been spent elsewhere, and we're saying let's set up our state to welcome these producers, bring them here, and put all of our people to work.
Among those who testified, both current and aspiring filmmakers from right here in West Michigan.
I desperately wish to stay in my home state and build my life here. But that dream is not presently feasible with the current state of the film industry in Michigan. The film industry is highly competitive, and with the passing of House Bills 4907 and 4908, I and many other young creatives would have the opportunity to not only forge our paths as filmmakers, but to also start our own families and keep up with the growing industry at large.
While Michigan did have incentives in the past, those expired in 2015. These credits would be somewhat different, with what proponents say are safeguards to make sure the benefits stay here in Michigan.
The last time Michigan wrote checks that went out of state. This time that is not going to happen. When it's done, the production company or the entity that owns the production that got filmed gets a tax credit that's good for a Michigan tax liability.
But some in the room Tuesday were not convinced the credits would be worth the expense.
The $500 million that we spent on film production could have been spent on schools or roads or poverty alleviation programs that also have the secondary and tertiary benefits that our film industries have pointed at as the primary benefits of these programs.
I don't know if we're getting the data that we need to make the decision as an economic development piece of legislation.
While the package already has bipartisan support, it will have a long road ahead if it is to make it into law.
So Josh, what does the road ahead look like for these bills?
Well, another date will have to be scheduled for the committee to vote whether to send these bills to the full House for it to vote. It would then have to go through the same process in the Senate, and both chambers would have to agree on one singular final version of those bills. Juliet?
Still a process ahead. Thank you so much, Josh.